Hey there, it's Cheryl with Sew Glue and Cheryl 2. This is my official first live. I had one last night. It was kind of a shock, surprise with the live button. So I am super excited. If you see the red live button at the top, you're catching me live. If you don't see that live button, let me know that you are watching me on a hashtag replay in the comments. I'd love to know that you have come to visit. I am now finally on my computer so I can see. So give me just a second to... is my official first. Whoa, got to get myself muted on that one. It's weird to hear yourself speak. All right, and I'll get myself shared out to my groups, or to my group. Okay. And we'll do that as we're waiting for people to come in. All right. Okay, so hopefully, looks like I've got myself shared in. Hopefully the comments will actually work for me today, as I know that some it works for and some it doesn't. So we'll see. We'll just give it a minute or two to see if people are able to join. If not, it's okay. I am so used to talking to myself and talking to the screen that it is just fine and dandy. I've been doing reels for 60 days, as most of you know, and those 60 days, it's a lot of practice in talking to yourself out loud, ultimately, because you're talking to yourself in the camera. So we're going to give it a minute or so, and I think what we'll do is we'll go on. I know it's Veterans Day, and I'm not a part of any of the groups that are doing Veterans Day today, but I thought I would try to do something. I've been planning on doing this for a while. I just didn't have time to do it during the 4th of July. So what better opportunity to do it on Veterans Day? So I have this, I got it at the secondhand store. And I literally just peeled the tag off, and it was $2. It had this, it says, "This home has endless love and laundry." Somebody had made it into like a table tray, because they had these little felt feet on the bottom. And so I ended up kind of scraping those off the bottom. And after scraping them off, it kind of peeled, I think whatever this was, it peeled the paper off. But it's okay. Oh, hi, Shonda. Thank you for joining me. I know that I saw you over watching Sib at Sib's Craft Shack. So thank you for joining me. This is my very first and formal live. So I so appreciate you joining me and actually coming into the chat, because now I can actually see that my chat comments are working. So I appreciate that so much. But I found this, I am not in any groups right now. I'm working on it, but I didn't want to start committing to groups until I knew that my live button was actually going to work. And so, so I decided to do this. This is a craft I was going to do in July, and I didn't have time. Other things become priorities. And so I found this, and it's somebody had made it into like a coffee table tray, and tell you that you're already a natural. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. I had a lot of practice. Not only that, but my job requires me to be on video all the time with customers, and so it's not hard for me. It's just hard for me to remember that I need to make things interesting for people, because at work I have to talk about work, right? And so doing this, it's just a little bit different, but being in front of the camera is pretty easy for me. But I found this tray thing, and it says this home has endless love and laundry. And they had these felt feet on them. I'm assuming, obviously, to keep it from scratching a coffee table. So I had to kind of scratch them off, and it did kind of tear the paper. But it's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the whole thing and cover it up. I started because this craft will probably take two times of me going around and doing this craft to finish. But I don't, because I only want to take an hour. I know an hour is a huge time out of people's lives, and I don't want to take that much time. I just appreciate that you're joining me now. So I painted the center white, just to kind of do a little bit of prep. I have a print that I had purchased. Whoops. I just tossed everything in the garbage can that I might need. But so this print, so let me put it on the back of the paper so that you can see it. This is a Reba Rose print, and it came to me on rice paper. And I was going to do, like I said, I was going to do this particular craft in July and never got to it. But I ordered it on eBay. So it was handcrafted holiday traditions is what I had purchased for, and $5. It cost me $5. I don't know. It was just, the invoice says that I paid $5 for it. And I thought, if you could find a deal on some of those, I think go buy them, because sometimes it can be a little expensive, and we as crafters have to kind of cut every corner we can, as long as it's a legit print, which this one was. It's verified by Reba Rose, and the paper at the bottom of it was, it says Reba Rose Creation, so it's confirmed. Oh, hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining. And thank you for sprinkling. I appreciate that. I am going to write names down for a little while until I can get Kathy with a C. That way I can get there. Oh, and Kathy Fry is here. Yeah, well, thank you for joining, because I know you guys have other things you could be doing with your time, and I so appreciate you supporting me. This print I was just talking about, for those of you who are just joined, this particular print is a Reba Rose. And I'll show you. And I'll read the number off, or I'll show you the number. I don't know if it's still in print or not, if that's the reason why, but I had bought it on eBay from Handcrafted Holiday Traditions, and I paid $5 for it, and did everything that I could do. Yes, I know you, Kathy, with a K, but Elk River Crafting is with a Kathy with a C. So, but thank you. I know you're a Kathy with a K. But your name is also inside of your title of your name of your business. So for those who, as I'm just getting to learn, and it'll become memory, in the future. But I don't like it when I can't remember, and it's just a self-imposed thing. When I cannot remember people's names off of their business pages because they don't have their name in the business page. So that's why I did So Glue and Cheryl too, is because of the fact that I wanted my name to be in my business page, just to make it easier for people. But this is Reba Rose. I thought it was beautiful, and I wanted to use it to do a craft. And I have the number I saved. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. And I can even take a picture. Here, hold on. Let me take the camera light off. I don't know if you can see that or not. Might be blurry. But if not, and if you want to know what that number is, I don't know if it's still in print or not, because I don't quite know if Reba Rose, yeah, it looks like in my replay or in my computer here, it looks like it's a little blurry, but I think it's number 0687 and American Cross. And so if you want that number again, I can share it in my craft or in my comments after. But so anyway, my idea is to take this particular tray that somebody had, that I got at the not at the dollar store, at the secondhand store for $2. And so I painted the center because I know that I want to put this print inside the center. And I always want to make sure that the colors are vibrant enough. So because this green is not a really pretty green, I didn't care for the green, but I would like to paint it. And I anticipate that this particular craft is only it's gonna take longer than an hour. And so I am planning on only crafting for an hour. And then because I just appreciate the time, and then we can finish it on another live. So I am going to, so I use the white, which is just the Crafters Edition white. This I got from Hobby Lobby ages ago. You probably can't pay $3.99 for a bottle of white acrylic paint anymore, but that's what I used in the center. And I have this, gotta take my glasses off to see it, royal blue, and it is Anita's acrylic. I have had this paint for like ever and a day. I often talk about, I had a neighbor lady that lives down the street clean out her craft room, and her husband used to craft or paint a lot. He was an acrylic painter, and so he would do a lot of painting, and she cleaned all that out after he had passed. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of paint the tray, like the top, kind of at a kitty corner. I'm going to paint the top, this part blue, and then white and red. So it's kind of a red, white, and blue. But then at the top, I have some of these wood stars. I have them right here. And I think that these came from her as well. But they're the wood stars, the craft Creatology. I don't know. I think I got them from her. But I also think that you can get these either at the dollar store, Walmart, some of those places. But they're little wooden stars. And so I thought I would paint some of those white and affix those onto the blue part so that I would have kind of a mimic of a flag. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and get started in painting a little bit of the blue. And I put on, so isn't this really cool? Totally Dazzled sent this to me for free. I had gotten some Happy Mail. I had also gotten a gift certificate. I had won, and in one of those boxes that they had sent me of the stuff, they sent me this really nice little apron, and I was so excited to receive it. But what I'm going to do is let me shake this up. I'm going to grab a paintbrush, put some on my, I don't know if it's going to be the right color. This kind of looks, maybe it's going to be okay. But I think it's probably going to need, and I know you guys can't see it just yet, but give me a minute and I'll put, yeah, this is, I probably should have primed the whole thing, but I didn't think it was going to be any big deal because the blue I thought was going to kind of cover the green, but I think it's the type of blue. It is kind of, it doesn't look bad. It's just going to need a couple coats because of the green. And so it'll take a minute to try to get some of that covered. But anyway, so does anybody have any big plans for Veterans Day? Is there any special dinner? Yeah. So the reason I put it on today is because let me tell you, the other day I was super excited about the fact that I knew my time was getting really close to being able to go live, and I was so excited. I was talking about it on my video. I splattered paint all over my jeans, and they were a good new pair of jeans. So I'm like, wah, wah, wah. I guess I should have been wearing my apron all along. So I decided, well, maybe I probably should start wearing the apron and not trust that I am a clean paint. I have seen all kinds of crafters go on and paint like tons of things and do such a nice job of not getting paint on themselves. But me, guess what? I got paint all over myself. So I'm like, all right, I'm sure that if I work at it and kind of scrub on them, I can get the paint out. I heard that the stuff that you can get from the Dollar Tree, it's like I've seen it. It's like in a clear bottle, but it's got some red writing on it, and the product is kind of yellow in color. I don't know what it's called, but I've heard people say that takes paint out of clothes pretty well. So I will probably do that. I am not going to spend the time painting the outside and do that. I will do that off air. But I did want to kind of, and it's actually not a bad color. I'll show you here in just a second. It's looking pretty good. Hi, Angela. Hi, Yvonne. Thank you for joining. Yeah, this is my first official, well, you caught me yesterday in my excitement. Angela, thank you for joining, by the way, yesterday. I was so excited about the live button being active that it totally threw off everything that I was going to say because I had it all planned out to do my reel. And wouldn't you know what happened? I got so thrown off because Facebook did something nice and they did it right for a change. So I was super, super happy about that. But this is kind of what, and it's probably going to take a couple. I just stuck my finger in it. Can't make that up. But so I'm going to do kind of a catty corner across. See how terrible messy of a painter I am? I just stuck my arm in it too. But I'm going to kind of do. I'm going to do it backwards because I want this. I'm going to take some of these wooden stars that I have. They're little Like I said, I don't know where they came from. I think they were gifted to me from the neighbor lady down the street when she cleaned out her craft room. But they're little wooden stars. And my thought was is once I put the print in, and I'll show everybody the print that's joining late, is that I'll put some of the stars in here as well, so that I kind of have a flag effect. But it's just going to be red, white, and then blue. And the white is the center. I kind of practiced ahead of time. I am such a hot mess. Here, you have these like concepts in your head that you're going to come in and you're going to do like everything is going to go smooth sailing. And oh yeah, no worries, Javon. Thank you for coming in. And everything's going to go smooth sailing. And nope. Then you put your hand in your page. You stick it. You do your arm. It gets on your arm. This is crafting life, right, folks? But this is the print that, and let me put it on the back of the paper so you can see it. This is the print I'm going to use. It's a Reba Rose. I had purchased this in the middle of the year before 4th of July. My plan was to do a craft with it at the 4th of July, and I didn't. And so, what better opportunity with having the ability to be able to go live now at Veterans Day? I thought, what a great opportunity! I will be able to use that and do my craft that I was planning on doing all along back then. But so watch your ears. If I got to turn on because I'm going to keep putting my arm in it if I don't dry it. So hold on. Watch your ears, please. There we go. Hopefully it's not killing everybody's ears. Thank you. And yes, if you have a business page, please come back in the business page, because what I want to do is, like all of the other crafters that have supported me, I want everybody else to try to support each other. So if you find somebody that you haven't been following, or Mr. FD unfollowed, had you unfollow people, go back and follow them, because it just helps every one of us. And this is such a great community of crafters, men and women. I can't even express the level of gratitude I have had. Both Sim from Sim's Crafty Shack, she has gone over and above to help me out, as well as Michelle Kaiser, which I think she's under the weather right now. But Michelle Kaiser with Pretty Pieces by Michelle have gone out of their way to help me out, share the knowledge that they have learned, and thank you, Yvonne, and I thank you for coming back in your crafting page. They have gone over and above to help me out, and I just appreciate everything that they have done to help me get my followers, because if it's been a while since you had your page, I don't know if it's new requirements, but the requirements for a business page now is that you have to have 100 followers at minimum, and then your page has to be 60 days old. And so that's why you were seeing me. I was just kind of practicing with the reels, and being able to get to share a little bit about how I've crafted some things. And I had done a lot of research. Of course, I've been watching crafters for a couple of years on Facebook. I just haven't. I would always watch from afar because I didn't think it was something that I could do. I didn't have the self-confidence, I think, at that point in time to be able to feel confident enough that I could go on live and that somebody would be willing to watch me. And I'm sure that is a common feeling with a lot of crafters, and I just appreciate each and every one of you guys, because you guys are you guys have just gone over the top in helping those of us who, and you don't find that in every community. And I was just so blessed, and I appreciated it so much that it 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 couldn't have been anybody but, God Almighty that made this happen for me. And I'll share a little bit of a story. And I know everybody has their own beliefs, and I'm so okay with that. But please know that I'm probably going to talk a lot about God. I am a Christian. I know that a lot of people say the word Christian, but they don't behave it. I try very hard to behave like a Christian. Even in my moments of road rage, I try really hard to be a Christian. And I am, it's not easy in today's world, because in every direction, we as Christians get attacked by the enemy. And it is not something that is always easy for us Christians to do. But if you keep God by your side, there's nothing you can't do. And so, it's going to probably take a couple more paint color, but that's okay. I won't waste your time. Let me finish getting coat number 2 on the top of this tray, and then we'll move on. Because what I'd like to do, I just need to get at least a start of the colors, because when I put the print down, I want to be able to make sure that the color is on, if there's where I guess there will be a hard line because of the fact that the color is going to be butted up to the print, but that's okay. I just need to make sure that the base colors are in there, so that when I put the print in, it will, you know what I'm trying to say, I think. I sometimes don't even know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, so yes, everything I try to do, I try to step out and be that better person of myself, that better version of myself. And so there, I'm going to probably give you a little bit of a backstory to kind of help you understand why this page came to be, and why this has become kind of my ministry. So my husband is in ministry school, and if you've watched some of my videos, you've seen me talk about, so my husband is in ministry school, the fact that he attends that part-time, and he has a handyman business here in Idaho, so we're in Boise, Idaho, and so his handyman business, a lot of times during certain times of the year, holidays, and then winter, my husband drives Uber to kind of make up for when he's not busy doing the handyman projects. And so he has had so many opportunities where he's been able to minister to people. And I'm like, I want that. I want that in my life. But with my job, there are rules. If I want to keep my job, I need to not preach, in other words. But I can tell people that I can pray for them and those kinds of things. But I'm not allowed to share, like, the Bible. I'm not allowed. It's very unfortunate. And so, but for right now, this is what God has called me to do. Is in doing so, I was praying, and one night he answered my prayer and showed me a dream that I was going to be. I had a dream. It was a very, very clear dream that I was standing at a sea, a body of water, And I had one of those old-fashioned fishing nets, and he showed me casting the net, and I'm like, that's wonderful. I'm going to be a fisher of men, or women in this case, mostly women. And I'm like, wonderful, Lord, what does that look like? It was, he answered my prayers, because the next day, and I told you, for a couple of years I had been watching um, different video creators, for crafters and things like that. But there was not a single one of them that offered prayer or a Bible study or had a conversation about God. And it wasn't that next morning when I was at work and I had a little break, I could log in to the Facebook, and what do you know? There was Wood Kids by Julie. She offered prayer. There was I heard Sib, who was offering and talking about God and her ministry, the ministry there, and then I got, all of a sudden I started. I was part of Sensational Creations, the event group, watching those videos, and it wasn't I'll Be Doggone, and then Sacred Treasure House. I started watching all of those ladies, and almost every single one of them are Christian women that are following God, and they talk about God. They offer prayers, they offer Bible studies. Another one that stood out to me was Be the Light Melanie. Or Be the Light by Melanie, I think is what it is. But I saw her doing, and I'm like, thank you, Lord, that was what I needed. And so I took him up on that, and I'm like, okay, so what does that look like now? What are the next steps for me? And they started asking questions, and Michelle Kaser and Sybil Roberts, both were huge in helping me gain the followers, set up my business page so that it was the way that it needed to be in order to have it work. And I'm still kind of, because when you have a 60-day-old page, there's only certain things that are available to you. And so I didn't necessarily have the opportunity to get all of the things that I wanted to do. Like, there's like a comments thing that you can agree to be nice and pleasant, and no bullying and those kinds of things. And I've yet to figure out how to get all that set up. I think some of it is just, it's not available to me yet. I think you probably have to have additional followers and more time to be able to have access to some of those additional features and functionality, which is absolutely fine. I just, I'm impatient. I'm not a very patient person when it comes to that. And so I wish that I had the time so that I could get it all set up and it would just run like clockwork, but that's not the case now. So this is where we're at right now with the blue. And I thought the blue was not going to be the right color blue, but I think that's going to be an okay blue. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the white kind of up in a section as well. And it's just going to have to be perfectly imperfect, because I did not pull out my ruler and do any lines. I am just gonna, and the white is most definitely gonna have to take a couple coats, possibly more, on that. But anyway, so that's kind of how the So Blue and Cheryl 2 page came to be. And, it was funny because Kathy at Quality Crafts by Kathy, she had asked me, because I had joined one of her lives that she was doing, she had asked me how I had gotten my page name. And I told her the honest truth. I made a list of different ideas of what I would like to do with my page name. And I made a long list, and I didn't like a single one of those names that I had come up with. So I'm like, well, okay. So I was going to crowdsource, but I found that because I only had a few followers at that point in time. Um, I not even actually that was way before the followers, so I didn't have anybody to crowdsource other than on my personal page. I was trying to keep my personal page and my business page separate, so I didn't know, and so I decided to go on to ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT to give me components, this, and this, and give me a creative name for my crafting page. And ChatGPT I have to give them all the credit. Their AI engine gave me the name So Glue and Cheryl 2. So that's how So Glue and Cheryl 2 came to be. Pardon me. I had a cold, and so every once in a while I still get like the dryness in my throat, and then the cough wants to. And I'm sorry, I'm turning it up. I just want to get into the cracks and crevices of this particular, and I'll show you kind of what it's starting to look like. I don't know. I think I'm going to need to do it a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, it's going to need a second coat. Like I said, I'm going to go back. I will paint the outside later, and I know it's going to take probably more time than the hour to be able to do this. So I thought maybe we would do it in a couple different lives, because right now, because I just started being able to go live, it's not easy to get into, because usually a lot of those event groups are planned out. They have events planned out for a few months. So it's going to be me, myself, and I for a little while until I get into some of the event groups and want to be able to do some of that, but I have a little bit of a limitation with, work, which I know some of the other crafters do too, so I know it's not unusual. Okay. This is what it's looking like so far. So I'm I don't know if I probably need a little bit more on that side. Kind of eyeballing it to just get it. It's hard to get down in that little crack. I got too big of a paintbrush, I think. But and then the bottom part will be red. And I know I'm doing like the red, white, and blue backwards, but like I said, I wanted to do kind of like what the flag you would see with the stars in the top left, except for it's going to be the stars are at the top. So watch your ears if you're listening in earbuds. I'm going to turn on the dryer again because I will manage to stick my arm in it if I don't. So there we go. I don't know how bad that is on some of them. For me, it's not bad. I know others with sensitive ears, it might kill your ears. But hopefully. So that's a little bit about how the page, So Glue and Cheryl 2 kind of came to be. And I'm really looking forward to having the opportunity to kind of get to know a lot of people. This is such a wonderful community, and I think I know several. And you start building some of those personal relationships as you comment. So if you don't always comment, I absolutely encourage people to comment, because that, now being a new crafter, that lets us know that you're here, that you're willing to engage, because sometimes it's hard coming up with topics to talk about. encourage it, because if it's something I can do, anybody can do. And Sib's Crafty Shack was absolutely the person that pushed me over the edge, got my self-confidence up and running, and said, the doors are open, you can step through them. Because I know there for a while she had shared her testimony in the fact that she would always do videos, and then she would upload the videos of crafting, but she would never do it live because she didn't have the self-confidence. And she said, once somebody encouraged her, that she was off and running, and that was all she needed. And I want to do that for others as well. I want to give back. I want to be able to help someone who maybe is new. So any of you who are watching and you know of somebody that is, I know of Debbie at Witchcraft, it's WHICH, like as in what craft, witchcraft do you want to do? It's not the WITCH. Don't know why anybody would want to use that word in their page name, but anyway. So I no condemnation if you do, or if you know somebody that does. It just, for me, it's not something that I appreciate. But I know that she is new. Oh man, I just messed it up. Well, it's going to be, I know Kathy DiDomenico at Royal Funky Junk says if it's not perfectly imperfect, then it's not hers. So there you go. I guess it's perfectly imperfect. They're definitely going to require multiple on that white. That green is just a hard color to cover up. But I'm going to dry this real quick, and then we can go on to the red. I want to get the red in, and then we can look at. I have my. I got to turn on my iron again because I want to do the hot method or the warm method of ironing the print so that there's no wrinkles. My goal is for this particular tray is it will be not only a decoration item, but in the end, once I get it done, my goal, I'm going to put some UV resin at the bottom, and I'm going to cover the bottom with that UV resin to give it like a water seal so that it can be a usable tray for the table, for carrying things, but in the end, it will. And I got it. I just messed up the. Okay. Oh, there's a family member I see watching. If I don't know, is this Joseph or is this Judith? If you're watching, come say hi. Comment and tell me hi. I'm so glad that you joined. This is my first, well, technically my second, but my first evening of actually crafting live. And this is an opportunity for me to be able to kind of craft, do something that I love, but also be able to share my testimony. I have a pretty significant testimony. I want to be able to share that, and I want to be able to disciple to others. So, okay, so what I'm going to do now, and all of these paintbrushes are going to need to be saved, but let's see. So I have this, it's Red Apple by Plaid. It's apple barrel paint, and when I was looking at the colors I had, I don't know if you can see it or not, but when I was looking at the colors, this one was the closest, I think, that I wanted as far as reds go. And I think I'm just gonna pour this out a little bit. It's kind of liquidy, so it's probably gonna take multiple. So, but like I said, I won't bother you with that. I'll do the base, and then I know it'll take probably more coats to be able to make sure that the colors stand out once I get the print put in. But I'll do that, those second coats. And then when my next, the next time I go live, what I will do is I will, I don't know, I might have some bling that we can add to it. But I also will then use, if none of you have used the UV resin, I'll go through the steps of doing the UV resin and show you a little bit about that. You can buy the UV resin. It's by Let's Resin, I think. Yeah, it's by Let's Resin, and it comes in a little kit like this, and you can buy it, and it comes with the little light. I'll show you inside the kit. It comes with a little the resin. You get a mat. I mean, and the little tools. If you want to pour it out, if you feel like you don't have to mix this up, because in the bottle, it comes in the bottle like this, and I just use a glove and I put a little bit out and I spread it out so that it's even. This is a little bit different than like doing the mixed resin, and then they give you a light, a UV light that you plug in, and when you do just a light coat, like on a tray or something like that, it works wonderfully because it hardens it up pretty quickly. It's not something you have to wait 24 hours for. It's a matter of seconds. And if you feel like it hasn't completely hardened, you can put you can use the little UV light all over and just set the timer and let it. And that's kind of what I did with one of the other trays that I had done. It was a watermelon tray that I had talked about. I had done the UV at the bottom of it, so that it was kind of gives it a little bit of a waterproofing. Okay, so you can see I'm starting to do the red. I've kind of got the blue, and then my strip of white, and then the red. So I'm going to go just kind of around the top and the inside here. I'll do the outside later when I'm not on a live, because I want to be able to make hay and help. And I'm sorry, let me see if I can get in there on the crack, and then you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. It's kind of awkward to try to make sure everything is facing forward so everybody can see what you're doing. But I'm sure that that's something else that I'll get used to as well. But anyway, does anybody have any big plans for Veterans Day? I have some wonderful veterans in my life. Some with us and some no longer with us. My grandfather was a veteran, and he was in World War II. I think there's questions about whether or not he was in the Korean War, but I believe he was. World War II, he was stationed in Italy, and he was, I guess, what they call, so at that point in time when they had invoked the draft, my grandfather was too old. So he was, at that point, he had a wife, he had 2 kids. He was too old, so he didn't qualify for the draft. But he could volunteer. So he volunteered to go in to the Army. And I guess he felt like it was his call, which is, I so appreciate that, because we wouldn't have our freedoms if, men like that didn't step up. And I have several others in my family that are both on my husband's side and my side of the family. So sticking with my side of the family, my aunt, which is my mother's sister, she was a nurse, and I'm trying to think, I think she was in the Army as well. I think that was the branch that she was in, and she was a nurse, and so you could imagine they really needed her. She served during, I think, back in the time of like Desert Storm and those, where there was a lot of concern in the Middle East and the Desert Storm. She served during that time, but she was a nurse, so she wasn't on the front lines, but she served in a lot of the facilities to help take care of the wounded soldiers. So, and then her daughter, which is my niece, also, but she served in the Air Force. And I don't know what her role was, but there for a little while, she was staying in a base that was not far from where I grew up in Illinois. And so we got an opportunity to see her a couple different times when she was in Illinois. I grew up in Illinois, but I live in Idaho now. And then my husband's side of the family, there's quite a few as well. My father-in-law was in the Navy. He worked on the flight deck of the ships where the aircraft carriers is what we call them. And watch your ears. I'm going to turn this on, and because if I don't drive this red, I'm going to put my arm in it again. And so my father-in-law, he had passed. It's been a couple of years. He's passed, but served, and he was a part of all kinds of things. He loved his life in the military, and was in the VFW and did a lot of that stuff that they get to do. And so we celebrated his life a couple years ago. He had passed. And then Joseph, which is on, well, I don't know if I saw them watching, if they're still watching or not, but Joseph is my husband's nephew. And no problems. I appreciate you coming back, Shonda. He's my nephew too, but by marriage, and so he served in the Navy as well. And smart as a whip, that young man. He is super duper smart. So I have a lot of veterans in my life, and want to say thank you to every single one of them for serving and putting their life at risk, if duty called, to be able to go protect our freedoms. And so what I'm doing is I'm just going to go in real quick and try to slam out another coat of this red, because what I want to do is I want to get to the point, and I'll have to turn on my iron again so that it gets warm. I'm like Sib. Those little irons, I have not been fortunate enough to find one that's inexpensive. So I just use my regular iron. As long as I use the craft paper in between, and I don't get anything on my iron, I'm good. I don't use it. I'm not a typical iron. I don't iron. The clothes I buy are clothes clothes that don't need to be ironed, because if they need to be ironed, I don't wear them, because I am just not about the ironing. But so if you don't have any other means, you might as well just use your iron for that, right? And as long as I don't get anything on it, my husband won't be upset with me. Because he does use the iron if he has, because he likes wearing collared shirts to church occasionally, and he likes to have his collared shirts ironed. And so when we got married, I told him, you're gonna have to iron your own shirts, because it'll be a rare. I'm not good at ironing. I know it takes practice. And so, but I don't do the ironing thing. So my husband, gratefully, he likes to have his shirts ironed, is willing to iron his own shirts. So I'm like, good. Because I don't like doing it. But anyway, yes, so because I just got an opportunity to go live, I am not a part of any Veterans Day groups, and I'm sorry I'm turning this up, but I just want to be able to see where, and I'll show you guys. It's actually, the green under it has really darkened the red, but maybe after a couple more coats it won't be so dark. But I know you guys probably can't see it. You probably can't see the difference, but let me watch your ears again. I'm going to dry the red so I don't have a fiasco. Put my arm in it again. Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of women nowadays that don't iron. I know that, so I talk about the lady down the street who cleaned out in her craft room. Ironing was her escape. So, we all deal with traumatic situations and family life so much differently. And back then, she ironed in order to get away from some of the things that were happening in her family. And so she loves to iron because that's a good escape for her. And I am like, well, if sister, if I need ironing, I'll certainly know where I can bring it. So this is if you haven't seen it, this is the transfer, not the transfer. It's actually a Reba Rose print. It is when it arrived to me, it's on rice paper, and so it had a white edge, and I don't know if you can see it, but I went around and used water and used I don't have a water pen, so I just used a paintbrush with water, and I went around the edges, and rice paper is really nice, and it will, when you tear that, you kind of see the fibers, which it turns out so nice. So I got that online at eBay back in, it had to have been like April or May. I bought it on eBay from a group business called Handcrafted Holiday Traditions. It was intending to use it for 4th of July and didn't get to the craft in the 4th of July. So I'm like, well, looks like we get to use it for Veterans Day. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me step over here real quick. I just need to turn on the iron. Okay, let that iron get heated up again, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use Montage, and I'm going to put, because I went ahead and marked out the center and painted that white in the beginning, because I wanted to know how big the center square needed to be. I kind of used a pencil and marked out around the Reba Rose print to make sure my brush is stiff. And then that way I knew where I needed to paint the white square. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this, And how am I doing on time? Oh, I'm really close. So here, we'll get the print on, and then we'll show you. Oh, there's a big goober, because I want to respect everybody's time. I just appreciate everybody coming and joining me and listening to me ramble for my first live. And I appreciate just the communications and sharing. And I'm making a mess. Holy mess. Woo! And is there anybody out there that need prayers, or anybody that is has some? I know Michelle Kaser. I have prayers for her because she has been sick and has recently had some work on her heart, I think, or at least the box that. Because she has an arrhythmia or something. I don't remember all the details, but anyway, so she has been kind of battling the cold and flu, and so I've been praying for her. Is there anybody else that needs any prayers? We can talk about that. Sorry, I should have given you a warning. I'm going to dry this Mod Podge so that I can get the print on, and then we'll show you, and then we'll work on finishing it up in another live. Maybe by then I'll have the blue, do the extra coats of blue and red, because it is going to take a few coats, I think. And I don't want to, it's boring watching somebody just paint. I wanted to get something done. So I'm glad that I at least managed to get had some of it done ahead of time. I'm going to try to dry this real quick and try to get it to the point where it's still on good. Get the Mod Podge dry so I can do the dry method. You can always use prayers. Your daughter is extremely medically complex with special needs, a ventilator, dependent, tube feeding. Oh goodness, Shonda. Seizures, nonverbal. Oh, wonder. Okay. Are you willing to share what your daughter's name is, Shonda? Because I would love to name her in the prayer. And Kathy, your mom and dad, they're both losing their eyesight. And Sue and John. Okay. Olivia. Or Olivia Blue. Okay, thank you, Shonda. All right. I'll turn this off. I'm going to do a prayer, a healing prayer for both of those. And then we'll iron the print on, I'll show you, and then we'll close for the evening. Dear Lord, I just ask that you please lay your healing hands on Olivia, and just ask that you restore her body back to the normal working orders. She has a long list, and we know that within your power, you have the ability to heal everything down to a split toenail. You have that capability, and we know that you have that power. Lord, we just ask that you lay your healing hands on Olivia so that she can have some relief, and her parents can have some relief as well, Lord, because we know it's not an easy thing, suffering with a lot of those chronic illnesses, Lord. And we just ask that you also be with Sue and John as they are starting to lose their eyesight, Lord. And we just ask that you create that mud with your spit, and you place it over their eyes and restore their sight back to 100%. That 20/20 vision that you gave us originally, because we know that you intended our bodies to be healed in our own natural needs. You have created everything in this world so that our bodies can be healed by those things, Lord. And we just ask that you put some of that healing mud over their eyes like you did, as Jesus did in the Bible, Lord. And we just ask that you um, please be with each and every one of us this evening as we go into our evenings and we celebrate our veterans. We just ask that you be with those veterans, Lord, as some of them also have their own healing traumas. And Lord, we just ask that you lay your hands on them for healing, Lord, for PSTD and anything else that comes out of it. We know that there's many that have missing arms and legs and all kinds of traumas coming out of war, Lord. And we just ask that you heal each and every one of them, and that you our prayers do not go unheard, that you hear every single one of them, and you love and desire to be able to offer up everything that we ask to each of us, because we know that you are God's, we are your children, Lord. And we just plead the blood of Jesus over Sue and John and Olivia for that healing. In your name we pray, amen. Thank you guys for being with me through that. I have been dreaming about being able to do that, and I thank you guys for stepping into that with me and helping me be able to do that. Before I get too sappy, let me place the print down. I got a little yippy skippy with why it's outside of the print, but let me grab my here's my parchment paper. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna grab my iron real quick. Hopefully it'll come across. Yeah, it's an old-fashioned one. It's got a cord, and luckily the tray is big enough to where the iron will fit in there. And so I just want to iron it down a little bit. I got the heat on like moderate, so it's not like high heat, but it's not low heat. What you want is you want enough heat for it to go through the paper and be able to go through the print and heat up the hot glue, the Mod Podge, so it activates to make it sticky. And so I just want to do that. I'm going to get into the corners of each of it, and then we will show you guys. So while I'm doing this, I'll share with you. So I had a class at church that went for like 7 weeks. And one of the pastors there, she's prophetic. She has a prophetic gift. And she was praying over me. And she prophesied that I would have healing hands. And that's Brandy. That is my father-in-law's dog. We got an opportunity to adopt her after he had passed away. But anyway, so she prayed over me that and prophesied that I would have healing hands. And I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to accomplish that, but I can't do it without God. It's God's glory, and I give him all of the glory for having the opportunity to be able to pray to you guys and having what I feel like is a success. And so thank you. Thank you so much, Shonda. I really appreciate you. You're going to add me to your favorites. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much. And so this is really what the end result will be. And then we'll have some stars up here. And but we'll finish the stars. We'll put the resin on in a second, um, in a second live. Not entirely sure if I'll be able to do it. I just don't know. I'll have to make an announcement, or I'll make a post of when, because I've got a little bit of a crazy schedule coming up. But if I can squeeze it in, maybe I can get it done tomorrow night, and then we can have it finished. I can showcase it. But thank you guys so much for staying with me. I just appreciate you guys so much, and you guys mean the world to me. I so appreciate everything that you guys are doing to support me, and I'm gonna start crying because I just love you guys. I love this crafting community, and you guys have been so supportive. So thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Yvonne, or Shonda. I think Yvonne was on here. I don't know if Yvonne is still on here, but thank you guys so much, because I thought maybe I'd be talking like my my reels. I'd be talking to no one. But anyway, I thank you so much for your time. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And, I just wish you guys all the blessings in the world, and stay in touch. And if I can find you guys and catch you on lives, I will return the absolute favor.